Welcome to the Baseball Biz on Deck Goofy Gobbler Awards, hosted with Brandon Noe. Like many turkey meals, some are put in the fridge for leftovers. In this case, we are making cold turkey sandwiches from the 2024 holiday leftovers. So beware, many of these awards were served before Thanksgiving.
Welcome to Baseball Biz on Deck. I am Mark Corbett with you, and today, I hand over the reins to Mr. Brandon Noe, my good buddy, who has been working with us and putting together the Goofy Gobbler show each year for the last 5 years. Hey, Brandon, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me back. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's always wonderful when I get to talk with you, and I can't believe it, brother. You brought this whole idea together 5 years ago. This is number 5, the 5th Goofy Gobbler Awards ceremony that you brought to the Baseball Biz on Deck, my friend. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for keeping the tradition going. I mean, it started out as like a stupid joke at first that we wanted to do, and it grew into the prestigious ceremony that it is today.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, the prestigious ceremony that it is today. And man, it is the one thing I love about this show each year. It is fun. You know, we set aside some of the seriousness of the game and some of the insanity of what's going on, but and we poke a lot of fun at it because heck, that's what turkeys are all about with Goofy Gobblers. And you've managed to create some of the most fun awards, and we'll kind of get at each one of those in a minute. But to me, where do you come up with these ideas with anyway, Brandon?
Well, some of them are just like kind of like dry turkey award I got from Christmas Vacation, how everybody was disappointed. So that's kind of where that came from. But then some of them are they're just like from my own like kind of disgust or distaste with some people, entities, so to speak. And you'll get to see 2 of them here today.
Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait, brother. But no, you've always kept us wild with those. So let's go ahead and get started, my friend. So here we are with the Goofy Gobbler 2024 Awards, brought to you by Mr. Brandon Noe, also known as, if I'm looking for you on Twitter, it is at Sports Splits Pod, if I'm correct. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. I posted
Where else?
it once.
Where else might they find you, Mr. Brandon?
I think that's the only place you can still find me. I think to be honest, I don't remember if I even created any other accounts, but I know that's the place where I keep saying I'm going to get back into it, but I would like to get back into it. Sort of my unofficial burner account.
Okay. All right, brother. Well, we'll like an official burner. Yeah. Well, I may add it because I talk too much. So let's commence, my friend. Let's dig on into these turkeys. So here we go. The 2024 Goofy Gobbler Awards, number 5. Start us off, Brandon.
Well, we're on our way to getting the Turkey of the Year award right here. My laptop screen, it won't wake back up. Okay, there we go. Here we go. All right. So our first award of this prestigious ceremony is Grandpa Politics. And I guess we all know what that means. It's just the old person that just won't stop talking about politics. We've all been there. And this year, it has to go to the duo of the Tampa Bay Rays and Pinellas County. Because this year, it really seemed like everybody gave off the vibe of, everybody's behaving at the dinner table. This is so nice, isn't it? The new stadium was approved. And then we had the unfortunate 2 hurricanes coming through. And then after that, they decided to try and get more money out of the deal because of cost overruns, stuff like that, which the Rays are responsible for. In a time where people should be coming together despite their differences for the greater good of a community, something has to try and get in their way. But then again, we got politicians in the Sternberg-led Rays, which is 2 people that could mess up making a bowl of cereal. Ooh. So that is this year's Grandpa Politics, the Rays in Pinellas County.
So everyone's there at the dinner table, and Grandpa Politics. Yeah, if there isn't enough going on political in the world, we've got plenty right here in baseball to cover. Whoa. So, my gosh, I'm not completely surprised at this one, Brandon. Was it hard to decide who we would get the Grandpa Politics?
Um, well, I mean, this was my first choice. I was trying to look at other ones, but this one, maybe I am biased, and I'll admit probably was my bias showing. This was just the no doubter to me. It was a runaway in the voting room.
Okay, man. Well, raise up for that one, brother. So, okay, now that's the first one. Now, what is the second award you're bringing to us here today, Brandon?
All right, this one is the "You Brought Them" award, and thankfully I haven't had. Actually, I think I have had it happen to me a couple times, but you ever showed up and somebody's like, "Oh God, they're here this year," or it's either somebody that you don't like or someone that you don't know, and it's just awkward. So it's kind of like that. So this year, the "You Brought Them" award goes to Ice Cube and Fat Joe. And I mean, I don't really have an opinion on either one of them. They haven't done anything to me. I'm not really a fan of their music. I don't really have too big of an opinion on them. But of course, they did rap pregame for every home opener in the World Series, and it was just all around awkward. Some players seem to be enjoying it. They seem to struggle finding fans having fun with it, and it only seemed like middle-aged adults that enjoyed it, and there's just a bunch of people on their phones just waiting for the game to start.
Yeah, I mean, you
And
saw the cameras panning all over the place. It was like, okay, this is interesting, not necessarily expected by everyone. did I mean, what were they going to capture? I mean, a lot of people were probably, oh man, that's fantastic, he's here, and other ones are saying, Ice Cube, Ice Cube, who is this? Am I living in the 80s or 90s again? I don't know.
he's in Are We There Yet?
Exactly.
And the part that made it the best to me was when Ice Cube did it before game one, and he's roasting the Yankees to their face while Verdugo is dancing during a song. I just thought that was
Seems appropriate. Yeah, yeah. It's oh gosh, yeah. I think they should have had that before these World Series started. They should have had Ice Cube. Let's see, who was the other? Oh yeah, Fat Joe. Sorry, Fat Joe. Should have had Ice Cube and Fat Joe do a face off like you see before a boxing
ooh,
match. You'd have Fat Joe on one side and Ice Cube on the other, and they could start spouting off. Maybe what do you call that? A rap? What is that? Come on,
rap
man.
battle.
A rap battle. Thank you.
There
Geez,
you
if you ever met anybody who's just incomplete as far as knowing anything about culture outside of baseball, that's me right now. So yeah, that would have been fun. I would like to have seen that. Maybe after we got a couple of games into the World Series, maybe just before Game 5, we could have had them both out there on the field and do a rap battle. You want to maybe they could have actually done that for the 7 inning stretch. Except, my gosh, after Game 5 in the fifth inning, was there really any reason for Yankees fans to have any interest in that game? It was, geez, it was terrible.
I don't know why you're saying it's terrible. I enjoyed it. Man,
Oh,
they could have they could have helped them out by maybe having like a stage or something with like an actual show, kind of like you don't have to do it like how the Super Bowl does it, but at least give them a platform or something, make it more interesting. It just felt kind of awkward having them walking around the field all by themselves.
yeah. I'm trying to think of who I might have chosen. Do you have any alternates for Fat Joe and Ice Cube? Who do you think that should have been?
Um, I mean, that was the only one I can think of. I am welcome to, snubs if you have any.
Oh, oh no. I mean, I would have to resurrect some guys. I mean, I would have to think of, say, as long as we're dealing with old guys, let's pull out Mick Jagger on one side and yeah, yeah. And Steve Tyler for the other, because they basically look like a mirror of the same person anyway. But well, we had them and we had them face off. That could have been it. Oh. Okay, so that particular award, once again, that's the You Brought Them award, right?
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that award with us. So that's number two. Give us the third award for the Goofy Gobbler, my friend. What is that?
Well, this one is one of my personal favorites, the Dry Turkey Award. And I said it earlier in the show, and I said it really every show, but if you've seen the movie Christmas Vacation where they're getting ready to open the turkey and everybody's all excited and then they go to cut it and it just rips apart and it sounds leathery and it's all smoky and dry. That's what this award is right here. And for the Dry Turkey Award, I decided to go with, I believe I went with them before, the Toronto Blue Jays.
Ooh.
And no, I did go back and forth on this one. I felt the Blue Jays were right for just the talent that they have. I could have gone to the Mariners, that they had a very credible case, but I believe the Blue Jays just eked it out at the end. It started with them. They tried for Otani, but they didn't even get, but they didn't even, oh, excuse me. They tried for Otani and they didn't get him, even though they were sure it was happening at some point because you had people tracking a flight from LA to Toronto. They were sure that that was him. And they let Matt Chapman go in the offseason, and Biggio was a bust. He wound up getting FA and he went with the Dodgers, where he did win a ring. And they just continue the trend of the past few years where this is their year, only to fall completely short. And who knows, they could lose by Guerrero this offseason. I believe next year they could lose Bichette too. So they could be
Wow.
headed towards another rebuild.
Hey, yeah, but they got Kevin Kiermaier, right? For for
Oh, no,
5 minutes.
he went, yeah, they got him for 5 minutes, and he went to LA with Biggio and got a ring.
And what about Teoscar Hernandez? What he used to be with the Blue Jays, right? They did they trade him away? And he went to the
Um,
Dodgers as well. I mean, because if you look at it, you got Kiermaier from the Blue Jays and Teoscar, I think Hernandez, and who was the other gentleman you mentioned a second ago?
Biggio.
Biggio. Wow. I mean, the Dodgers have had kind of an AL feast. Do you think about it? Well, an AL East feast between those guys and a couple others they picked up. Snell, who's now with them, and Tyler Glass now. So it's interesting to see, but I can certainly see why you would have picked the Blue Jays for the 2024 Dry Turkey Award. What do you expect to see for the future for the Blue Jays?
Oh, I mean, just more of the same. I don't know how they're going to get better. If they're probably going, they want to say they want to bring Guerrero back. I don't know. I don't know what all they can do to surround him. They haven't shown that they can develop anybody else. They aren't bringing anybody in. They should have kept Chapman, but
Yeah.
he went of a year. So I can't help but think it's more of the same.
Well, that's a daggone shame, my friend. But yeah, that is the epitome, I think, of what your dry turkey award, cutting into that turkey, like you said on Christmas Vacation, a little poof comes out, and there's nothing there, man. It's just dried out skin, and you can't tell the difference between that and the turkey itself. So, well, sorry to hear the Blue Jays were the winner this year. So well, let's proceed, my friend. What do we have now?
Well, it's good to see the Blue Jays winning at least something. So, but anyways, on to the next. And this one is the Drunkle Award. And we've all been there, whether it's aunt, uncle, cousin. It can be anybody that this just rolls off the tongue better, where they've had a little bit too much to drink, or a little loosey goosey out there saying things that they probably shouldn't, or they just say things that are funny and don't make the most sense.
Oh
And
yeah.
I will say ahead of time, I had these planned out before Thanksgiving, but schedules got in the way, and I intend to honor that. So this is kind of like how a regular season award is given, and it's like, oh, but they didn't perform in the postseason, but they still won MVP. It's kind of like this because Rob Manfred the past couple of days has made a push with his golden at bat rule or whatever that
Yeah.
joke of a rule is. But the Drunkle Award for the 2024 Goofy Gobblers goes to Oakland A's lead announcer Jenny Cavanaugh. And to be fair to her, this was her first year on the job, so maybe she was nervous. She was just trying to do too hard. But multiple bad moments like, "Hey Siri, it's not your night," only for a couple of pitches later for Siri to hit a game-tying homer in the bottom of the ninth. I think we all remember that one. It was all over Twitter or X, whatever you would like to call it. And in Kansas City, she said that this ball has a chance, quote, on a ball that was hit to left at Kauffman Stadium, only for that ball to hit off the scoreboard on the front of the Royals Museum.
Ooh.
And if you've seen Kauffman Stadium, that's not really close to the field of play. So that ball had more than a chance. And when
she didn't say a chance of what, though?
Oh, that's true. She could have said it had a chance to go out of the stadium.
What else you got?
And then when the A's tied it up, she said, "We have an even up game." And I don't really know what that means, but hey, I mean, I can't throw stones in glass houses. I stumble over myself all the time. You could just listen to all the Baseball Biz episodes. But you know what? She was probably just nervous, trying too hard. So hopefully year 2 will be better for her, whether they're playing in Sacramento, Las Vegas, or wherever they end up.
It's interesting because you bring up the whole even up game. And yeah, that sounds kind of wild, but you never know what the heck's going to be a catchphrase before you, as time passes. and I got to tell you, man, I have a hard time giving Jenny Kavanaugh a hard way when she says that about, "Hey, Siri, it's not your night," because I've never known what to expect of him. Jose Siri, we're going to miss him here in Tampa, strictly for the entertainment value of nothing else. But I mean, he could be the most exciting outfielder we've had since Kiermaier in Tampa. But he offensively, I don't think you knew what the heck you were going to get out of him sometimes. But yeah, her first year, I know it is tough. I would not want to even begin to think how I would do on that job. But it's so she gets the Drunkle Award with the Oakland A's lead announcer there, Jenny Kavanaugh.
Yes, it's a job I wouldn't want to do, but hey, I can't make fun of her too bad. She got a pretty good job. But moving on, we'll try to brighten everybody's day a little bit. We can only rag on people so much. The All-American Award, and this one's pretty much, like feel-good stories, something that everybody like to see, something like that. So this year's All-American Award winner, I decided to go, well, I didn't decide to do it. The committee decided to do it. And this award will go to Freddie Freeman. And he's a guy, he seems to be respected by everyone. And spending time in Georgia, he's still beloved by Braves fans. I see Freeman jerseys all the time, and he hasn't played here in a couple of years. And he was battling personal issues during the season, and he had a sprained ankle during the World Series. And it seemed like he just had like so much going against him. But with all that going on, he still won the World Series MVP. He had 12 RBIs and home runs in the first 4 games of the series. Behind Bobby Richardson of the Yankees for most RBIs in a World Series with 12. But Richardson did it in 7 games, and Freeman only did it in 5. So with all that was going on and, trying to drag him down with his issues, like his son was having health issues, and then him battling injury, where I think he said he had to get like shot up with numbing stuff like every 30 minutes. He still had arguably the greatest World Series ever. So Freddie Freeman, the All-American Award.
Yeah, I was glad to see that the committee voted Freddie for that one, the All-American Award, because he's a man who commits his body and soul to that game. And as you were pointing out, I mean, the sprained ankle, but still coming out the next day. I know that they were giving him the painkillers, et cetera. And what they wound up, I think, somewhere this past season where he had an issue with the ankle, but they also found out that he had an issue, I think, with some cartilage in his ribs. And it was like, good gravy. This Freddie Freeman guy, he will pursue whatever he has to be out there on the field. And he is just given a great season of entertainment for the Dodgers and certainly through the World Series. And I don't know that it would have gone as easily, and I don't know if I should be saying easy, as it did for the Dodgers if Freddie Freeman wasn't in that lineup.
No, I mean, I don't think it would have, because, I mean, he had that grand slam in the first game, which was pretty clutch. I mean, we can make fun of the Yankees, which I will continue to do because it's fun and I enjoy it. That game, or that series, even though it went 5, it could have gone longer, because I can only really think of some of those games could have gone the other way. especially game one, because they were winning. So, I mean, yeah, like he definitely swung the series in their favor.
Well, I think of Freddie Freeman, the one thing that always kind of comes to mind for me too is, I mean, obviously all he achieved this year in winning the All-American Award from your committee, but the other thing is too, is how kind of heartbreaking it was when he did go to the Dodgers. I mean, there was all that back and forth, and then just before something was finally agreed upon, and he wound up going to the Dodgers instead of staying with the Braves. I know Chipper Jones and some other people were less than happy, but I thought Freddie Freeman, got a lot of respect for him, got his integrity and what he brought to the game. I think the Dodgers, in many ways, have bought their World Series team. With you look at who's all on that team, it's just amazing. But I'm just very happy that your committee saw it fit to give him the All-American award.
Yeah, it's about time this committee did something right, because we all know they could win the Drunkle of the Year award, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know some of those guys. Maybe they should be on the Hall of Fame ballot committee too. Because never mind. I'm not going to go there today. So
Right.
is it that time, my friend? Should we have a drum roll here?
I think it is. It's time for the granddaddy of them all.
Oh my gosh! Spell
All
it out
right.
for me, baby. Bring it to the fore.
All right, everybody's waiting. I have the envelope right here. This year's Turkey of the Year award. It's the start of a dynasty because they're winning this like crazy. And God knows they don't win on the field. The Tampa Bay Rays.
Oh,
So
oh,
yeah, they. I mean, come on. I think it's a runaway.
oh,
I
oh.
mean, not only did they win the Grandpa Politics Award, which was well deserved, I believe this was well deserved as well. I think the committee got it right, because you have an organization that, yet again has eroded any fandom and goodwill that they had left. And I know mine personally, it's been affected again when I started to get back into the Rays. And they say that they care about the area, but they don't really seem to show it. I'm, in my opinion, owners are supposed to be stewards of the community, make it better. We've seen it with the Glazers, how all their foundations they have around the Bay Area, and of course Jeff Vinnick. I mean, look what he's done in just downtown alone, all the charity work that he's done. You don't really get that much with the Rays. They do some stuff, and it's just not as much as the other teams do. And some people won't agree with that, but I mean, that's the competition. That's the standard that's in the Bay Area now. And Stu Sternberg is the owner, and he never seems to show his face in the area at all. I mean, I never see him. I only see him opening day, and every once in a while he'll pop up and do an interview with no real tough questions. But like, especially during all this, back and forth stuff, I'll put it nicely, that they're doing with the county the past month or so, you don't see Sternberg out there, talking with fans, with anybody. You just see, Alden Silverman out there doing his work. You don't see Sternberg out there facing the music. And, people want to say he's a good businessman. You don't own a baseball team by being a bad businessman. And I mean, you don't have to be smart to run a baseball team. Look at the guy that ran the Pirates. I can't think of his name. Or the guy that owned the Commanders. They weren't very good owners, but they're going to make a heck of a profit because sports teams just do nothing but make money. And he's considering moving a team that's in a top 20 market for a smaller one. I don't get that. That's stupid to me. You're leaving a ton of money on the table, but businessmen and the cities don't escape blame either, because they're too busy hooking up with northern teams for their spring training and getting married to their hometown team for the betterment. So the Tampa Bay Rays, this year's Turkey of the Year.
Ooh. Ooh. I can understand throwing shade at him. I really can. But here's the thing. I think there's too many owners out there in the community speaking when they should shut the heck up. I mean, if you were in Oakland, how many times would you wish Fisher had just never spoke this year? You may not like the way that he and his gang ran the team, but these guys say things. Or you take who's like I've said it before, the Reds guy, Castellini. He was saying things like, "Well, what are you going to do? You going to move? We're going to move the team, huh?" Some things of that nature. I'm not getting it accurately there. And sometimes I think it's good that the owner's not in the forefront of all the conversations. And I've seen the Rays organizations do a lot for different things around here. I got to be honest with you. I get why you're giving them the Turkey of the Year, but there's still a lot of good that the Rays organization does. But I'd also say if you're looking at Turkey of the Year as far as what things going on with the Rays and the politicians, there's so much. And if you all have been listening to the show, there's just been so much back and forth. I mean, over the last several months, it looked like we had a deal. And then there's other questions that came up after some elections. It's nobody's walking away with clean hands from this thing. I still don't know how it's going to shake out.
Yeah, I don't either. And I mean, you have very valid points. I mean, they do plenty of good for the community. They could always do more. And I mean, just my problem with the ownership is they don't like show their faces. It feels like you never hear about them, sitting there and watching the games with fans or, talking with them. I never hear that. And any time that he's doing an interview, it's with the team's networks, and they can't ask them like hard questions or too hard questions, or at least they don't give off that intention that they would like to. But I mean, yeah, I am probably biased and a little bit, upset, but I just feel that this is a worthy choice. The committee got it right, but I do like a little bit of controversy for this year's award.
Oh, do you have were there any runners up for this award?
Well, I do feel that like the A's, they were making a heck of a run for going back to back. Just their owner, like you did say, it's some people you just get the microphone out of their face. Don't do it.
Don't let them speak, baby.
And even when they don't speak, and when it's just a PR statement, it's still awful. It's just don't talk at all. It's like, don't do anything. Let the adults handle it. They're bad.
Yeah, I think anytime an owner walks up to a microphone, there should be a guy standing right beside him, some man or woman who should be in charge of damage control. And much like with some of the political debates we had this past year, they should have the opportunity to where they can mute the microphone of the owner when they realize.
Make it interesting.
Damage control. Kill the mic now.
You just see them put their hand over the microphone and whisper in their ear.
Yeah. These owners are speaking. They need somebody beside them, not necessarily speaking angrily, but maybe somebody to actually say, well, what he really means is that he loves the community and loves all the fans. We're going to take care of everybody, and we're going to have a team next year that's just going to stun everyone. Is that what I said? Yeah, that was what you said, sir. Oh, okay. There's you need some help. I mean, some of these guys, and I think again, maybe the best thing is for some of these owners not to be in front of a microphone. I don't know.
It's like when like foreign diplomats come over and they have a translator speaking for them, and you just see them sitting there. You can tell they don't know what's being said, but they're just smiling and nodding, maybe giving a thumbs up every once in a while. It kind of like that.
Yeah. Well, my friend, this has been another exciting year. Once again, the 5th annual Goofy Gobbler Awards. And I can't thank you enough for Sports Blitz Pod, Brandon Noe, and your committee of assembling these awards each year and picking out, the winners. And I know it's tough because it's Turkey of the Year. Like you said, there's maybe a couple of different ones you could have picked.
Well, thank you for inviting us back. And, I mean, I didn't even pay the most attention for baseball this year. I do realize I could have done a lot better, but very busy this year. So, but they make it easy for us. I mean, it's just too easy. We've been saying it for years. Shout out to the Golden at Bat.
Well, Brandon, I can't thank you again enough for joining us here on Baseball Biz on Deck and bringing to life each year these turkeys of the year and sharing the awards that we can all relish the joy that baseball gives us, more than just scores on the board, but the people and insanity that accompany it.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure and honor as always.
All righty, everybody. Well, thank you again for joining us here today on Baseball Biz on Deck, and once again going through the insufferable Goofy Gobbler Awards for 2024. You can find us on baseballbizondeck.com. You can find us on iHeartRadio, Spotify. Also, special thanks to XTakeRUX for the music Rocking Forward. All righty.